What's going on, everybody? I'm back again with another video, and I'm in Quezon City in Metro Manila. And today I'm going to be hitting two main roads, which is Timog Avenue and Morato Avenue. And I think it's an avenue that's full with restaurants, coffee shops and stuff. But I think it's also a neighborhood that's famous for the television broadcast in the Philippines. We're going to pass next to a major broadcast television, which is called the GMA network. So I think the headquarters is centered right here. So I'm going to pass next to it and then head towards Timog Avenue and see what's going on. I gotta tell you, it's only 11 o'clock in the morning and the sun is literally already kicking in. So I put some sunscreen to see if that literally protects for my skin. But we'll see what's going on. Let's see how I'm gonna end up after an hour of filming out here in the streets. But that's how it is out here in the Philippines. You know, you gotta do what we gotta do. Headquarters is right here. I don't know if you can see it, says GMA. It's like a tall building. Who knows, man, someday I'll be in the broadcast in the Philippines. Joking, I'm just doing my own thing. And it got also like this, it looks like if you're in Hollywood. This over here, I'm entering Timog Avenue. You can see how people are literally protecting from the sun. Because you know, the heat here hits different than other parts, like in the States. So I see there, it says cue ball billboards. So far it looks like it's a busy road and intersection. So let's see what's going on. And I think this over here privately is probably where the network is, but they're building like another building over there ahead of me. So I think also in the nighttime, there are a couple of clubs around here where they got street action and nightlife. There's one club from the 80s that I want to check out eventually. I will. But now let's see what Timog Avenue has to offer for me and see what can we find around here. Here you see it developing another road. And I like how the sidewalks are paved. They're like a red cobblestones. So ahead of me, there's gonna be a couple of trees. So I think the street gets actually more interesting once I'll start walking a little bit ahead. You know, you're gonna start seeing all the restaurants and business. There's even like a circle with the skyline over there view, but yeah. And I think Quezon City is a pretty underrated municipality or city within the National Capital Region of Metro Manila, because it's pretty massive. It's actually the biggest one, if I believe. And they have like a lot of nice neighborhoods, you know, with a lot of trees and stuff and a lot of cool things going on. But, you know, a lot of people, they focus mostly like in Makati or Taguig. And when they go to Taguig, it's mostly the BGC area that they focus in. But I tell you, there's tons and tons of neighborhoods throughout the metro part of Manila to explore. So here I am in one of them. That's Timog Avenue. This is at Timog Avenue, so I'm gonna walk ahead and see what's going on over here. So far, I'm liking what I'm seeing. You can see they have condos all over. And if you go by EDSA heading towards North Avenue, they've been building a lot of skyscrapers too. There's more ahead of me in the gas station. And then you can see what I'm talking about the cobblestones and the sidewalk. Yeah, just gotta be careful crossing the street. There's a Dunkin' Donuts over here. Tell you, many runs a Dunkin'. I'm so happy that they have this here in the Philippines. And look how nice the street is with the trees and stuff. And if you think about this district, there's so many streets that I can't really cover it all, but I'm gonna do my best, you know, to showcase the most off of it. Building something else. And you can see actually this area reminds me a little bit or Camagüey by Makati. It's an area that I stay, and it looks a little bit similar. They have like a Shakey's and then some high-rise condos in the back. I can actually see the rendering of what they're gonna build here. So it's actually like a luxury tall condo, but yeah. But now let's keep walking a little bit forward to see what can we find. Also, I'm trying to walk by the shades so it can protect me from the heat, but I saw like around 2 or 3 o'clock, it's gonna hit the original temperature, 96 degrees. So I'm pretty sure with the index, it's gonna feel actually hotter than that, so just got to be aware of the heat. And what is this? A supermarket? But then it gets more interesting ahead of me. And some of the streets are reminding me of the cities in Puerto Rico, like San Juan, Bayamon, even Ponce, like the tall buildings with the trees, all like that paved. So I think it's something that's actually really cool. Hello, sir, how you doing? Gonna do a little detour. I want to show you a nice tree ahead of me. I don't know if you can see it. You can see the well-paved roads, but look at this flowers over here, the trees. It's actually pretty gorgeous. I've been noticing a couple of those flowers around here in the Philippines. Then they got a kebab shawarma curry joint. Nice. So they got a resto bar here named Pure Gold Timog Avenue. I think at nighttime they probably have some nice neon lights. Oh wow, look at this. This is called Exclusive. So I think they have like a nice looking resto bar over here too. So this is the area where it gets actually pretty exciting. And I like the sidewalks with the parking lot and the trees. So even if you have a car and you're driving, it's easy for you to get here park your car and then just, get food or walk around the area a little bit. So it makes it a little bit more convenient. But yeah, this is a really nice district out here, And I don't see much foreigners cover this area. Only a couple of local bloggers from the Philippines. But I think it's an area that's actually pretty worth to explore. Like I say, a lot of foreigners, they mostly limit to a few neighborhoods or the touristy areas, but there's so much to see, And if you've been to another areas, you can actually see the real vibes when you explore like a local country and meet, like the real people and all of that. So the road is nicely well paved. I think it's better if I walk here because you can get to see both angles of the sidewalk that I'm walking. Then ahead of me should be a circle and probably like a nice view of the skyline. I just don't know on which side this is gonna be. But then that intersection is Tomas Morato Avenue. So I think it's also another cool avenue with a lot of business going on. Even out here you see like an outdoor calendaria or street food scene. So no matter what part of the Philippines or Manila you go, you're always gonna see something interesting. You're always gonna get food at every price range, And there's like a massage joint, coffee joint ahead of me, and then we got this intersection over here that's busy. So I forget defines, the Timog Avenue district. This is the circle. Like I say, just like in New Jersey, Philippines have circles too. And these are some of the skylines you get in a couple of apartment buildings. And now I'm merging into Tomas Morato Avenue. So it's gonna be like another cool avenue to explore. I think they got like a lot of restaurants, a lot of doors. It actually looks a little bit more busy than Timog. So let's see what's going on over here. Ooh, loud noise of the jeepney. This is Tomas right here. Wow, and I like how nice the streets are. They even have like the lamps and the lights. The trees, wow, it kind of feels like if I'm in the States. Like spring vibes, the color of the trees. This is actually pretty nice, Look at the sidewalk, how they develop it. So yeah, and then they got like a coffee joint ahead of me. Yeah, I'll tell you, this is actually super underrated. I want to show you the streets and the other side. So this seems to be like a nightclub over here. Then they got the Watson Pharmacy restaurant. So wow, I figure the nighttime or in the evening is actually better to come around here. I feel like when the weather gets cooler, you see more action in the street. But I'm taking advantage that it's quiet now to explore the street to see what's going on. And they got this here, New Gangnam Grill. But then like I say, look at the sidewalks. Kind of giving me a semi-vibe like if I'm in Flushing, Queens, New York. But much more chiller, and of course the weather brutally hot. Right now the temperature should be hitting like almost 100 degrees. Even have a Chili's across the street. Chili's, and this is Filipino too, Mesa. So you get food from all over. Then ahead of me, I think it's a Chinese joint. So it's like, yeah, you got like a lot of international cuisine restaurants right here in this street. Oh, this is a really underrated street. See, they even have like for the bike lanes, you can bike here, and then a pedestrian area. So this is actually really dope. And then across the street, you got Thai food, another Western fried chicken, a beauty salon. Of course, Chili's is right there. And the intersection that takes you to Timog Avenue. It's not even too far from where I'm staying in Cubao, but of course, it's all part of Quezon City. Like I said, Quezon City has so many districts to explore. And they have a beautiful park also, the Quezon City Memorial Circle, which I did a video there, I think the last time I came, but it was really cool, but yeah. But now I'm gonna keep exploring a little ahead of me. This over here is really nice. It feels like you're in another country, to be honest, with the trees and stuff, but I mean, that's the beauty about the Philippines. The diversity that you get, not only in terms of people, but in architecture and stuff. Like some parts, it feels like you're in different type of countries, even though it's the same country. This seems to be like residences over here. And I like how the streets are together, with the trees and everything. Gonna continue my walk, but I'll look at my Google Maps too to see where is it taking me. I don't want to go like super far and then walk all the way back in the heat. At least I'm sheltering out here from the heat with the trees and all that. And it continues going, like I say, they really planned the street pretty well. And I think more neighborhoods in the Philippines, especially Metro Manila, should take an example of this. Like separate the bike lane with the pedestrians so it can make it more comfortable and safer for the people, to walk and bike and drive around. And I think that should apply to every country too, even the United States. Think about United States, unless you leave the Northeast, like New York, Philly, Boston, is that most of the cities or townships, they're car dependent. So it's like you literally need a car to get around even to the closest store. So it's not walkable. Because a lot of people from abroad, they think the United States is literally like New York City, LA, but to be honest, the United States is mostly like country and quiet town. It's actually the third largest country after Canada and Russia. So yeah, there's a lot of nature, a lot of resources out there. Seems like it actually gets even nicer over here with the buildings. I'll tell you, even on the other side of the street, it's worth to look at. Like it feels, I don't know, I ain't gonna lie, it feels kind of like if I'm in Florida too, with a little Asian twist. A little detour here to show you this street that's going up the hill. I think it's gonna be actually really cool to look at. So not only showing you the main streets, but look at this. This is just a little regular street, but they also have like, well, Korean joints. So I think there might be a lot of Koreans in this area because I literally saw one walking by. And then over here it turns residential, like the houses and stuff. But I think most of the streets in this area over here and in Quezon City, they're like this, like well paved, with nice trees. So they're actually kind of like private, the residences. Pretty gorgeous. And that's a proof for everybody who thinks that Metro Manila is just a horrible place to be, and it's not. Just like any other place, there's good and bad parts, but you just gotta know where you're going. But I mean, most of Metro Manila has neighborhoods like this, because this is really massive, And look at this house as well, house for rent. This is actually really cool. And then it takes you to the other side and a beautiful street. Now let's head back, and I'll probably do a block or two and probably merge into another of the regular streets to see what it looks like. I'm not gonna lie, this street actually kind of reminds me also of California. Like I've never been, but I've seen videos and pictures, and it's kind of giving me like that vibe if you're in LA or even some parts of San Francisco. So I can see that literally right here, like a mixture of Florida, California with an Asian twist. But yeah, what a beautiful street out here. So I think in the evening, this is a place to be. There's a Japanese joint across the street and 7-Eleven. Like I said many times in my videos, like the 7-Eleven in Asia, they're pretty different from the ones in the States. But now, yeah, love how the street keeps going. And then I said this already like in a couple of my videos, but I'll add this also to my list of other neighborhoods I could consider seeing myself living if I was to live in Metro Manila. This area is actually pretty cool and much more chill than other parts. I'm gonna turn back and do some of the regular streets and walk a couple of blocks down to see how the vibe changes out there throughout the main streets. And then probably wrap up the video. It's a pretty nice looking neighborhood out here. And I'll tell you, like, there's so much to see out here in Metro Manila and of course all over the Philippines. But if you're staying in the Metro for a while, then don't be afraid to explore many of the neighborhoods and districts out here. Yo, this is actually really dope. Look at this. So detouring in another of these regular streets out here, and pretty much the same. Wow, look at this. It's like, it's covered, it's a nice looking house. Maybe if I cross the street, I'll show you. Beautiful house with the condo next to it and private. It's actually really dope. So it's like it's a semi-private residential area, but there is no gate that blocked me from entering. So I'll keep on filming. It's kind of giving me a semi-vibe of Diker Heights in Brooklyn. And then you see, once you exit like the main street, it's actually pretty peaceful and quiet. There's flowers. Let me cross the street to show you. It's gorgeous, right? The flowers over here. Then the street ahead of me has even a bigger tree with the flowers. But I'm gonna make my left and probably do like 2 blocks and then head back to the main street to see what's going on. This side a tiny bit more busy, the roads are a little bit wide, see a little bit of more action, but I see like mostly workers working on the electricity and stuff, and a couple of corner stores around, so it's really cool. And the street has a couple of stores, restaurants. There's actually one to my left where people are literally eating. That's really cool. It's a calendaria actually, so it's crazy. So it seems like this little regular street is busier and you see more action than Timog or Tomas Street. But that's how it is in the Philippines. No matter what street you walk, there's always something interesting to look at. Wow, look at this. I don't know if you can see it. Look at that nice, beautiful house to my left. It's actually pretty gorgeous. I think I'm gonna detour in this street right here. And this is how this street looks like. So it seems like it's mostly apartment complex, what you're gonna find in this one. And a couple of corner stores, you know, kind of, there's literally like all over where you walk. Look how nice these condos are. And then this one too, wow. Not sure if it's like a hotel stuff here, but it's actually pretty nice to look at. And I'm gonna head back again to the main street, and I'm probably just gonna wrap up my video over there. People are so friendly out here. It's just I don't get the chance to put the camera on them and film them, but even the security guys and stuff, they're like, hello guys, welcome to my vlog. They say that all over the Philippines, so it's really good because they really respect people who are filming out here. And then it's crazy because New York City, where I made most of my semi-career, if you want to call it, in the YouTube, it's actually one of the most visited cities, the most viewed city in the world. But then there's a lot of people, even if you're not filming them, they don't like being on camera. But then when you walk around here in the Philippines, it's like most of the people, not everybody, and we respect those who don't, you know, it's their privacy. But most of the people, they want to be on film, they're friendly, they're like, hello, welcome to my blog. So that is something that's really helpful too if you're a content creator coming out here. But number one, always respect the locals. Don't take their kind for granted, you know. Don't do stupid stuff, you know. They can be friendly, but if you mess with them, it's not gonna end well, as it should, so respect. So I think that's gonna be the end of my video out here, exploring this nice area of Morato Avenue and Timog. So I'm gonna wrap my video over here, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more. Be safe out there, everybody. God bless y'all, and peace.